Hi everyone. Well, this is a very brief video about a new pack that I'm putting together, which is going live around the time this video goes up. So what is it? So if you remember when I first launched the Kickstarter about 3 years ago, this was initially designed, I wanted to put an Amiga 500 into one of my cases because I like putting 500s in big box cases. So I've been shipping loads. I've shipped hundreds of these cases to Amiga 500 owners. But one of the problems is that by the time you start adding all the bits up, and it starts to get a little, I don't want to say expensive because it is what it is. They're really expensive to make. But a lot of people don't have working keyboards. So normally what you would do is, if you were going to do this, you'd have an Amiga 500, you'd put one of my external keyboard cases, you'd add on to that the keyboard cable kit, and then you'd build the system up and it would look like that with a nicely made aluminium front keyboard on a cable with your existing Amiga 500 keyboard, and you can still buy them and they're still in stock. However, so what I'm trying to do is to make this for people who haven't got working keyboards but have a motherboard and a floppy disk and a mouse, that you can still use that computer. So what have I done? Basically, we've partnered with a gentleman called Karl, who's been quite some time selling PS2 adapters, so it plugs into the Amiga internal keyboard socket, and it allows you to put a PS2 keyboard into it. So what he's done is he's making a new version, and I'm going to put pictures all over this video as it's changing colour and going all kinds of weirdness. But I'm going to put some pictures up on the screen showing you the adapter. Now the picture you're going to see in this video is a prototype. It's a really handmade board kind of thing. So obviously they're going to be made properly. They're being made at the moment, should be here in 2 or 3 weeks. If I've put it as the mid-September. And what it does is we've got a hole on the back of the 500 rear panel, and it's for an AT style connector. And what we have is a little adapter that you connect this PS2 with a little grommet kind of thing, 3D printed grommet, and a bracket. So it basically mounts onto the back of the case, and then you have this PS2 interface at the back. Now internally there's an 8-way wire goes to the keyboard, and the black goes to pin 1, just so you know, plugs onto there. There's also 2 extra little pin sockets on there for LEDs. One's a power LED, one's a floppy LED. So you can see I've got here the power LED connected, but I'm not doing anything, so you can't see the floppy. But you could connect it to an internal hard drive. I don't know what you're going to do with the 500, obviously. What I've done with this, I've built a Terrible Fire 536. It's a nice little addition. This board the kit does not come with the Zorro board. It comes with the ATX adapter. So you've got a power supply, the ATX adapter, which then powers the Amiga through the rear, plugs into the rear power port, and it does everything. There's also spare cables if you want to plug other bits and pieces internally, which is great, like a CD-ROM drive if you want to add that. I'm going to include if you buy the LG GS40N, I'm going to include in this pack, I'm going to include the little mounting frame that we have for it, and also the DVD panel at the front. So basically you're getting it's a bit like a deluxe pack for the minis, but it's most of the things you'd want to do without the keyboard case and not having the Zorro board. Now, why not the Zorro board? Well, it's quite expensive because it's this expensive thing to make, and it just pushes the price up. And a lot of people are not using it because it's not a full-blown Zorro slot, okay? But most people are putting vampires in, terrible fires in it, and you don't need that. You just need a CPU socket, and you need something to power bits and pieces into, like the fans and DVD, CD-ROM drives, those kind of things. Even to the point I've got an external compact flash that just needs a floppy connector, and you can get an adapter, plug it in, wallop, and away you go. So as you can see, I think I think it looks. Look, I sold hundreds. People obviously do like the look of it, and so if you've got a 500 that's got a busted keyboard and can't get it repaired, or you just have these spare parts laying around, why not build one of these? Now the price for the pack might change, but at the moment it's £299. However, when it's on the site, you do get instantly that 5% discount, so you're going to get a discount off of that as well. So it's actually a really good price. I think it's a really good price. Now, bear in mind that excludes shipping and VAT. Okay, so if you're in Europe or the UK, if you're in the UK, we will add the VAT. If you're in Europe, you'll pay at the other end. So again, it's a straightforward process. We don't charge. This is for my European customers. Okay, we don't charge you the VAT. It ships to Europe. While it's in the air, you get an email from DHL to say, here is the amount of VAT you've got to pay, and there will be an annoying charge, but the discount hopefully will make up for that. So you pay that, and then they'll just ship it to you. It's really simple. It's one more step because it's coming from the UK. Sorry about Brexit. But yeah, so I think it's a nice pack. Hopefully you agree. There's been some pictures in here. Have a look at the website. This will be part of the product page, this video, but it's an Amiga 500, so it's an Amiga 500. Do what you like with it. I've gone here OS 3.1. As I said, I've got a terrible fire. This is an old setup I've had for years. If you're wondering what this monitor is and how come it's displaying an interlaced signal, it's my new monitor. I don't think you can't see that one up there. This is the new monitor. It has SCART inputs, so I'm going in RGB to SCART, and it can handle this, all the usual stuff. I'll put a QR code on the screen. If you point your camera at that, or click the link below, it will take you to the monitor. So if you're interested in the monitor, then go to the monitor page, the information page, click the link there to register on the mail list. And then once the Kickstarter's launched, you'll get an email to say it's ready. But yeah, so this is kind of a big deal for the future. Hopefully you like the look of it. But look, I think it makes a really nice thing. Now, one more thing. Because we're actually throwing in the keyboards for free, obviously you're paying for the PS2, but it's a pack. So some of the parts will cost more than a pack. You know how these things work. But by default, you'll be getting one of these keyboards, the PS2 keyboard. It's an inexpensive, but it is new. I've got new old stock. These are brand spanking new when they were made like before time. But they're nice little keyboards. They come with the stickers pack, so you can put Amiga Boing balls and the A's and all that kind of thing over the buttons. You can put a Checkmate logo over the top of that kind of thing, so you can customize it. Now, these are the ones that come as standard. Okay. Now, you're gonna have to be quick. Right, I have 8 of these keyboards. Now, these are manufactured. You can't actually see it, but these are manufactured by Cherry. Now they're very old, but they're brand spanking new again. All right, but I've only got 8. Right, so the first 8 orders for this pack will get those keyboards. Okay, and then they'll go over to the other ones. So when they're all gone and there is no more, once they're all gone, then we'll be moving over to these. No, I promise you won't be disappointed. But if you do want to replace them, yes, that's fine. I've put this pack together because all my keyboards are white. Alright, now people have asked, can it come in black? The answer is yes, because we've sold lots of black systems to Amiga 500 owners, but we don't have any black keyboards. Now, I won't be changing the pack price because I'm not charging for the keyboard. So I will ship a black version of this with a white keyboard. You can then go online, order yourself a black PS2 keyboard. There is a keyboard which I don't have down here. There is they do make them still. They're about £30. I can't remember the name of the brand. But you can still buy the black keyboards. So if you do want to get one of them, fantastic, get one of them. But as I said, I'm kind of budgeting around this. So the price is $299, black or white. If you get it, if you get the black one, white keyboard, okay. But so I'm really aiming this at people who want the white keyboard, the white experience and everything. And on the subject of monitors, they will come in black as well. So, you know, Right, hopefully this small introduction and some of the pictures has helped. And I'll include all the links in the description. And apart from that, if you buy one, thanks so much. But thanks for watching. Also, be brilliant if you could back me on Patreon. We're trying to build the Patreon backers up a little bit because now I've gone full time on this. Sales do this, and it's not a cheap operation to run, and I'll not sell hundreds of these. We do all right. I've kind of budgeted, but getting more patrons is really going to help. There's benefits. Now I am working on some completely new benefits to really make it worthwhile being a Patreon. Yeah, if you want to back us on Patreon, that would be fantastic. You do actually, if you're a patron, get an extra 5%. So we add an extra 5% on if you are a patron. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hope you get it. And also, I'll probably put a link because Yambita is about to release a video in the next couple of days. Finishing it in the next couple of days, where he's literally building this. Okay. And he knows all about the PS2 bits and pieces, and so it's a way of hopefully helping out with cost. It's not cheap. I'm sorry. But wait for the reviews. Have a look at what people say about the product. It's really well made. It's a lovely piece of kit, and it looks just like a big 3000. All right. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed that, and speak to you soon. Bye. The Checkmate 1500 Mini and Plus cases are mostly engineered and manufactured in the UK. They're designed to give a nice retro-inspired vibe on your desktop. The 1500 Plus is the biggest of the cases and designed to be able to take much bigger motherboards inside. So this can take a micro ATX as well as mini ITX if you want to build a PC. But also, with the correct rear panel, you can fit an Amiga 500, an Amiga 1200 and an Amiga 600 and build your ultimate Amiga rig. The Mini is designed to take mini ITX motherboards, but don't think that limits you. Yes, you can build a PC, but also you can put in many custom motherboards from the retro scene, like the Mystics, which takes a DE10 Nano, one of our DE10 Nano fitting kits, a fitting kit for the Raspberry Pi 4, and other systems that are coming on stream right now. The Checkmate Garage was inspired by our new monitor developments. The reason being, if you've got a 500, 1200, an Atari ST, BBC Micro, or any of the all-in-ones, it's nice to be able to put the monitor directly above and tidy up your system. However, exciting new product is our new range of monitors, 17 and 19 inch retro-inspired monitors with loads of input, but also capable of taking an all-in-one computer internally. The monitor will come to Kickstarter hopefully August, September time. If you want to go on the mailing list telling you when it's ready, please point your camera at this QR code and it will take you to the page, which will then allow you to press a button to add yourself to the mailing list. The monitor is an important part of this company's strategy. Large amounts of development work are being done and it will be like nothing you've ever seen. So hopefully it will pique your interest and you'll back us on the Kickstarter. Let's come to Patreon. Patreon is a very important part of this project. What we're planning with Patreon is, if you are a Patreon backer, whatever you've invested in Patreon to help us, we will put up to 5% of an order. So you get an extra 5%, but that's the whole order. Doesn't matter what you've ordered. It doesn't even matter if you don't back us on Patreon anymore. Hopefully you'll come back, but we'd want to show our gratitude to all those who backed us in the past. You'll see their names ticking by in this video. But I also know this is not just about people wanting discounts on products. They want more content from myself. So what you're going to see is a lot more videos from me, because now that I am full-time on this project, I'll have more time to spend on it. So I can give you videos of my computers. You'll notice I do have a reasonable collection and I'm going to talk you through them. This is something that was at the top of the list for people who back me on Patreon. Not everyone does it to back the new projects. So how come I've got more time? Well, for the last 15 years, I've worked for a company called Web Labs, and they've been absolutely fantastic. In fact, none of these products would have existed, and I'm going to stick their logo up here. I want to thank them, and going forward, we'll probably still work with Web Labs and do some further development. But ultimately, I want to concentrate on this project and hopefully make a success of it. And let's hope I can be doing this for many years to come.